Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we're going to be going over all the potential PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X restocks we're going to be closely on the lookout for all throughout this week. We actually have a lot of big locations that are very overdue. We have a lot of locations that have a lot of big stock and stock arrivals ready, either confirmed and or in store and or should be coming soon. We also have a few locations that are just very much on the overdue side, and as well as also quite a few little mid-tier and also walk-in locations. So we have a lot of stuff we'll be watching, a lot of stuff we'll be talking about, and as well, a lot of stuff to ramble about too as well, because I'm sure you guys know usually on the weekly videos, I do try to be at least somewhat a little bit more in-depth, so it's kind of like the one good video you guys have to watch all throughout the week. But of course, as well, we'll probably definitely be doing other stuff too on top of that throughout this week, when it comes to videos and updates and all that type of stuff, obviously. As well as also we'll have our PS5 giveaway winner announced throughout this. We actually may go to one, maybe last one as well, right before we're on the very tail end for all this stuff. So we'll keep that in lookout for that one. Maybe another one afterwards too as well. We'll kind of have to see how the stock and stock movement is going. So we'll have that pretty much announced throughout this week, so you guys all know. As well, make sure you guys are following me up on Twitch if you guys want to. We'll be doing a lot of just cool games. We'll be doing Horizon. We'll be doing more Elden Ring and all that good stuff, and just generally hang out and chilling. We also have the Twitter if you guys want to go and follow, just hang out and chill. Amazon links down below for the PS5 disc, digital console, and controller. And as always, sign up for Weeble, deposit $100, get a bunch of free stock, free money. Same with that Coinbase too as well. Leave a like if you guys found the video helpful. Let's go and dive on it. So the very first and foremost big boy I want to go discuss and talk about throughout this week is going to be on the, obviously, Target side. So when it comes to Target, we've actually had a little bit of a nice buffer and a little bit of like a kind of big, kind of all over the place stuff when it comes to their drops. Now, we have had confirmations that there is stock physically in stores. We've also had confirmations as well that stock has had a lot of movement as well. So we might even have some updates for you guys later on throughout this week, just in case you guys are curious on the lookout for more general stuff. So Target should be looking pretty good and should be looking pretty likely throughout this week. I'd probably give it like a nice, I'd say 85, 90% chance that we'll have a pretty good drop going on. Now, the numbers are pretty high for this one just because, as I mentioned, stock is physically in stores. We've been seeing some places with like 10 to 30 to maybe even a little bit higher, depending on the area and location of stock. We did have a Target drop not that long ago that was definitely a little bit more on the smaller, not as big side. And what I mean by that is the drop was kind of like maybe like 2 to 3 to 4 consoles if we were even lucky. So it kind of seems like this is the proper drop that a lot of us are overdue on, and a proper drop I think a lot of us actually deserve. So we'll definitely be watching that all throughout this week. I'd probably say, in case you guys are curious, I'm sure you guys know almost by heart now when these restocks happen. Usually they're on Wednesdays, Thursdays, or Fridays at 6 a.m. Central to 7 a.m. Central. That's so you can basically go and add 1 hour for EST, minus 1 hour for Mountain, minus 2 hours for Pacific. We usually have been seeing around maybe like the 6:30 to 6:45, very in particular. Those are the ranges we almost always see, although sometimes maybe a few moments right before, maybe sometimes a few moments right after. Usually we'll kind of know throughout that same day if you guys do wake up for it. And I'll probably give you guys reminders / rundowns for us in future videos as we get more information / definitely going to reach out to some employees, definitely going to try to find some stuff, or if you guys are employees yourselves or any of these retailers, send me a message yourselves. But when it comes to Target, we'll probably be watching a lot. As we've mentioned before, a lot of leaks, a lot of stock, a lot of stuff has also been floating around too as well. So it just seems likely, it seems very overdue, and usually Target, unless it's like have a lot of canceled orders or botted orders, it's usually a pretty good drop. So we'll definitely be watching that, especially throughout these next few days. So be on the lookout for that too as well. So all around good stuff. So that's gonna be a big focus throughout this week. I'm gonna say it's probably be very likely. PS5 digitals and Xbox Series X's do sometimes drop over at the same time, although stock numbers are way smaller in comparison between them. So I just want to remind you guys, stock super small when it comes to that. Very small. It'd probably be like from like 1 to maybe out of stock to maybe 5 if you're lucky. If it also drops in combination, Xbox Series X is in the same boat. But always don't forget, we do keep on seeing quite a few folks always getting Xbox Series X's available in stores and getting their stock. You just have to call your local area, check on open. It's usually on like a 2 to 3 week cycle when your stores receive stock. Sometimes you also have a little extra stock available whenever a drop is on the way, and especially right after drop too. So Target's be a really big one throughout this week. We'll definitely give you guys more details throughout these next few days as we watch and sit through some Target drops going on. So all around, this should be pretty good. We'll give you guys more details later on. Next one will be up on the Best Buy side. Now, we did go and cover up Best Buy just in case it randomly dropped at like a 9:30 or 10 o'clock. As you guys know, it's kind of weird with the buffer for videos, uploading videos and time-wise, etc. So anything that may have happened, or if anything like randomly did happen throughout this video, like randomly at like 10 o'clock or something like that, just keep in mind I did mention all that stuff in the previous video. So I know who's on top of that one. Could probably want to watch that. Yeah, you guys know what I mean. But anyway, for that one, Best Buy. So we have a few different things. So even for today and throughout these next few days, total techs, and especially on Mondays and Monday drops. We have seen Best Buy do drops on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Now for GPUs, we did not have any GPUs, I believe, last week, although the past few weeks we've actually had quite a few GPU drops. So we'll probably be anticipating up maybe a GPU drop, maybe, although I would probably say I'm more on the unlikely side, just so you guys all know we're watching that throughout these next few days. The bigger thing, though, is obviously on the consoles. So PlayStation 5s. We have not seen Best Buy do an online PlayStation 5 drop in literally forever. It's been a very, very long time, both either on Total Tech for the paywall. The last drop we saw was an Xbox Series X Total Tech drop. We have also seen 2 GPU drops, one Total Tech, one not. So you guys don't know these past like 2 weeks or so. So PS5's extremely, extremely overdue for online. Extremely. PlayStation 5 digitals do sometimes also drop if they just have a big bet, like whammy jammy of stock everywhere. So we'll be watching for both of those throughout Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Usually around the 9 a.m. to around 5 p.m. range, although typically it's usually around, I'd say, like around noon, from like I say 11 to around 1 p.m. is the usual drop time I usually kind of notice. That's like the golden time, I would say. So when it comes to Xboxes, we did not see a normal Xbox drop throughout this week. Does seem likely. When it comes to PlayStation 5 disc editions, it's so overdue that if it doesn't happen this week, I'd almost be surprised. So we'll be on the lookout for Best Buy 2 as well, especially now that we're seeing other retailers such as the Walmart drop that happened last week and Amazon drops. We are seeing movement from Sony basically going pretty much everywhere. So we're going to be watching that stuff. Keep that in mind. So yeah, we'll be watching that for sure, 1 zillion %. We've also had reports of 3 different instances. We covered this on the earlier day video, but we've been seeing some Canadian walk-ins floating around where some Canadian stores have had stocks. If you guys are Canadian, maybe check your stores and see. Although once again, when it comes to all these walk-ins, it's sporadic, depends on the area, depends on the store, depends on the location, etc., etc., etc. Also as well, we've also been seeing some of those variously popping up for Best Buy stores too, where some stores have had extra stock, some stores have bonus stock, and etc. Maybe even sometimes even leftover or canceled stock too. But we have been seeing multiple different reports throughout these past around 3 weeks or so. And it's not huge. It's not every store. And I do think the last Best Buy walk-in was more so like some of those more event stores from what we kind of had reported, which is like just more specialty or very high like traffic stores. So we have been seeing that. We've been watching that. It's a little bit more on the rarer side, so it's where to report on, but we have been seeing that. And as well, always keep on checking the Best Buy app. If you guys check the Best Buy app, find the SKU units for the units you guys are trying to find and constantly keep on refreshing until one of the stores pop on up. Say it's like 13, 14, 18 miles away. Then you guys might be able to go call that store and that usually go pops on up if there's any warehouse stock available. And with that, you have a chance to go get your consoles from it. So just be on the lookout for that and watch that just in case. And that kind of gives you guys a pretty much good chance for Best Buy. So I'd probably say Best Buy is kind of in the same boat, very high, like a nice 80, 85% chance. And we've also had confirmations too from employees saying that there is stock in stores and they've been seeing stocks in stores, and even people have been reporting just from like seeing managers and showing up in stores that stock should be on the way and or is physically there. So it's looking pretty good as well. Kind of the same thing with Target, where like we're seeing like internal stuff. We don't know the exact dates or time. If we did, we'd let you guys know, or maybe even did just based on the time this video will be uploaded in like, you know, in the first place. So just keep that in mind as well. So the next kind of big things to go talk about, a little bit more on the unlikely sides. But for GameStop, first of all, is like the highest percentage. GameStop will be watching all throughout today to see if they do any tweets or pro memberships or even some sneaky drops or whatever, and also walk-ins. All 4 of those are very overdue. We did see some Xbox movement for both an Xbox Series X drop as well as also a really big Xbox Series X walk-in. We have been seeing both of those a lot. So there's a lot of big bundles, a lot of big Xbox Series X movement. Although the one big thing is, once again, the PlayStation 5 has been kind of nowhere to be seen. Although once again with Walmart and other various locations getting stock, it bumps it up. So PlayStation 5 disc editions, pretty extremely overdue. Like they're looking very, very, very overdue. So I would not be surprised if we maybe even see some tweets today, and then we have a lookout for bundles on Tuesday. Although GameStop has kind of moved their drop times around. We've seen some Tuesdays, we've seen some Wednesdays, we've seen some Thursdays, etc., etc. So we'll probably be watching tomorrow to go and see. Sometimes we have the emails that can 100% confirm it. Sometimes we have like the teasers. If we see either one of them, we'll let you guys go and know. But, well, I guess we'll have to kind of go and see. But when it comes to that stuff, PS5 digitals, extremely overdue for bundles. PS5 disc editions, extremely overdue for online bundles. Xbox Series X's, not as much, but if Microsoft's just making a lot of them, they might go do a random YOLO drop this week. GameStop also did a GPU drop not that long ago, so keep that in mind. As well, walk-ins. Now, when it comes to GameStop walk-ins, we have been seeing a lot of Xboxes. We have like 2 or 3 weeks back-to-back with PlayStations, so it is a little bit on the overdue side, and we do keep on seeing murmurs and rumors with them having some stock for it. So if you guys do see any stock from that, or if we have employee leaks confirming it, or anything else kind of showing on up, we'll let you guys go and know. We'll give you guys some tweets, we'll give you guys some YouTube videos, and throw some more details your ways. Remember, you guys do have to be a GameStop Pro Rewards member, so just keep that in mind. You do have to pay the extra $10 or so, but it does have a lot of extra benefits tied on in with the services. So at least for me, they are still bundles too as well. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad, but PlayStation 5s, even for bundles, still go sell out pretty quick. So we'll be watching those, especially throughout this next few days and this rest of this week as well. So good stuff with that. Now, for the other little more way unlikely sides, Walmart. Now, we have seen Walmart do back-to-back drops before, so I just want to remind you guys, this is not completely out of the way, because the last 2 drops have also been Walmart Plus drops. So with that, normal Walmart drop always has a good potential, mainly because for that one, it kind of opens up to everyone, although it might be slightly more botted if it is opened up to everyone. So I'm just keeping you guys on the loop for that. But basically, Walmart usually has done Wednesday and Thursday drops, more so on Thursday around the 3 p.m. to 11 a.m. range, depending on the time of the drop itself. So we'll be watching and go and see if they have any more website updates. We do usually have a few day kind of notice to kind of see if there's gonna be any drops or any movement with that stuff. So we'll let you guys know. Although once again, it's not fully confirmed depending on the area, depending on the stuff, blah, 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 blah. But if they do one, PlayStation 5 disc, digital, and Xboxes would all be included. Although, like we said, we do sometimes have a few day notice, so we'll be able to go tell you guys if it's Walmart Plus or normal Walmart drop. Like I said, I'm leaning towards if there was one, although it's more on the unlikely side this week. Probably an open to everyone Walmart drop, mainly because I did 2 Walmart Plus drops for it. So not the best, not the most incentive, we're kind of in the middle. We'll watch it though. Same thing too as well when it comes to the Amazon. Amazon did do a restock last week, so the likelihood of another PlayStation 5 disc edition is pretty low. We usually see them do about like once a month drop, give or take. This last one was 2 months, although it did kind of seem to be pretty heavily botted and kind of bought on out, which did kind of stink. But there is a nice chance both for the PlayStation 5 digitals to maybe have a random YOLO restock, although all the other regions don't have any leftover stock for it. So we'll have to let you guys know if we see any movement on stuff like that. As well, for the other various locations too, the Xboxes are also extremely overdue, just normal baseline Xbox consoles. So we'll be watching that throughout the week. Nothing kind of big on that. Nothing we've seen those stock movements or anything crazy. We'll kind of go and see. But as well, always keep on checking the Amazon links down below just in case you guys want to, because it does a lot of the times include up for warehouse consoles that do come in stock every now and then. So keep on watching that stuff just in case you guys want to. We'll be watching that and seeing that just in general. So this is pretty much about it for all the big boy retailers. Once again, Best Buy, Target, and GameStop are the ones on the lookout for. Everything else, not so much, although always that small chance. PlayStation Directs will kind of keep you guys on the lookout throughout the rest of the week. We have been seeing a lot of Tuesday, Wednesday dates, so maybe later on throughout today we'll have a chance to go and see and get some stock just in general. As well, same with Microsoft Directs. We'll usually kind of mention them in videos if we see them, although we haven't seen as many, or even their online drops too as well. Although, make sure you guys are signed up for either or, both on the Microsoft Store as well as the PlayStation Direct, just to go make sure that you guys have a chance to get your consoles if you guys would like to. Now, for some other various things. Whew, that's all talking so far. Costco. So as I mentioned in my earlier in the day video, Leslie had a random little drop today, so you guys could always disregard it. Costco did go and do some website updates. Now, some folks also did have a chance to get their console, so it can kind of go either or, but Costco did go do a PlayStation 5 drop on Saturday. So if they did have any leftover stock, or that was just like a misfire on the website, we'll keep you guys in the loop for it. Usually Costco is more on the earlier side, from like the 8 a.m.s to around like the 3 p.m.s or so throughout the days. You do have to have a Costco membership. So we'll be watching that. Xboxes are also slightly overdue, but not really, because they did one like a week ago. But if they have like a lot of extra stock or a lot of canceled orders or never picked up or whatever, blah, 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 slightly higher chances. PlayStation 5s, if the last drop on Saturday was not a proper drop, we'd be expecting one throughout this week. Same thing too for Sam's Club. We actually have been seeing Sam's Club being pretty proactive. There's always that small chance for the Thursdays if you guys want to. I think they did more of a drop that was not at nighttime, just more like the middle of the day. So keep that in mind. It kind of depends on the stock and then maybe leftover Walmart stock, because it is a subsidiary of Walmart. PS5s and Xboxes could maybe kind of work their way on in. You do have to have a Sam's Club membership for it though. Keep that in mind. As well as also for BJ stores. We did see quite a few BJ's PlayStation 5 bundles. Have not seen as many Xbox Series X's. So when it comes to that, the Xbox Series X bundles would be a lot more likely both for online drops, to go and see their bundles and pick them on up, and as well maybe for in-store. We have not seen any indications for Xboxes really in-store though, although if they do an online drop, the likelihood does bump on up for leftover stock or bonus stock. Kind of a good example, look at how GameStop did the online drop right after doing in-store stock. It's kind of like that. So we'll be watching that for BJ's throughout this week, both online. usually around the same time at the same hours, like the 9 to 5 range, and also in stores, just depends on your local region. As well, on the same topic, we have also seen a lot of them in stores available. PlayStation 5 Ratchet & Clank bundles. It was a lot more as of last weekend, not so much as past weekend. So keep that in mind. If you guys ever check your stores, call them, call ahead, or just kind of do a dual purpose trip. We haven't seen as much throughout this week, but maybe it'll change throughout this or maybe upcoming weekend. Now, as well, for other various things too, don't forget about the Newegg day-to-day shuffles for their PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X's. Always remind you guys on the day-to-day videos, just so you guys can go check them out and go and see. But as well, for other various things too, Myers walk-ins. Now, once again, same thing too when it came to the BJ stores. Myers themselves did not go and really have that much walk-ins going on. It's kind of a little bit more on the setter side, but when it comes to their stock and stock movement, we do see them being somewhat consistent and somewhat on top of their stuff. We'll still be watching them to see. We have a good content too as well, but even my content did go and state that they didn't have any more extra stock throughout this weekend. We had a very dry weekend, which is kind of an abnormal, I would say, but it does happen every now and then. Would make a lot of sense too. These past few weeks have been kind of pretty quiet. We had a lot of good walk-ins though the past like 3 or 4 weeks though, so I don't think we can go and complain. Xbox Series S's sometimes show up on sale from Myers themselves. Xbox Series X's, not so much as of recent. PlayStation 5 disc and digitals do show on up, so we'll see throughout the week itself to see if there's any stock for it. Now, as well, for other various locations, Fred Meyer's. Fred Meyer's is also overdue for an online drop. Same with Kroger's. They're the same kind of similar brand, just different regions, so keep that in mind. Both the stores and store apps for PS5s and Xboxes will be on the overdue side, so if you guys are in those areas or club members, keep on checking those on out. Walk-ins have not been as popping up as much as we've seen. Fred Meyer's has been dry for like 3 weeks, besides a few little sporadic drops on then, and same with Kroger's. It's been around a little bit longer, I think, for that. So both of those are overdue. Both of them will be watching, and same thing for walk-ins. Staples, as we have not seen like a pretty big confirmation for areas or regions for PS5 or Xboxes in a very, very long time. We have seen them do a few little Xbox Series S, both walk-in and also online deals, so keep that in mind if you guys want to check your local stores and go and see. As well, for other various things to be on the lookout for, AGB has not had any Xbox Series X stock in quite some time. Belk has not really done any walk-ins or any of various stock locations in quite some time. Military members, we do always keep on seeing it very consistently and restocking quite often for military members with their own supply depots as well as supply exchanges. If you guys are a family with active military and everything else, be on the lookout for that. If you guys want to check for local stores and stock, all for there. As well, for PC Richards, we do see the occasional walk-in / online orders available. Same with Endormas too as well, which has been very overdue, although their bundles are on the slightly overdue price. Gamefly has not done any restocks, especially as of last week. Sometimes we see them on like a 2 to 3 week cycle. So when it comes to all their stock numbers, Xbox is especially more on the overdue side for them for their bundles for paying members. Mainly because their last Xbox shop, I think, was open for everyone, but especially for the membership too as well. It's got a nice little combination for it. And top of that too as well, we are going to probably be watching quite a few other little various locations throughout the week. As we mentioned too, we always had the Lenovo's or the Verizons or even the Kohl's. A lot of these places are overdue. We'd be expecting them at some point. They're always kind of randomly there. I just always mention them just in case. But like I said, I think the really big focuses this week will be on Best Buy, mainly because we've been seeing the kind of teeter-tottering with some walk-ins and kind of teeter-tottering with some stock, and then some employees keep on bringing stuff up. Like, we keep on seeing it. We keep on knowing it's there. It's going to happen at some point. It's been a very, very long time since their last drop, Total Tech or not, for PlayStations. It is always the online order in-store pickup. Target, same thing too as well. We are kind of seeing employees talk about stuff, as we talked about, the stock numbers we've been talking about. Everything for it this week looks extremely likely. And also when it comes to the walk-ins, I'm going to kind of hope that throughout the week we see more. Usually walk-ins are a lot more nice to go cover, because I always like seeing people putting the smile on their faces and in their stores, because they literally get to just show up, buy their consoles, and then can basically just leave. So it's always usually nice to see. So I'm going to probably say this should be a pretty active week. We should have a lot of good actual news. And kind of like how last week was, at least we had a lot of stuff that kind of keep our attention kind of tied on in. So I do hope a lot of this week's will be good for you guys. Hope a lot of you guys will get your consoles. I want you guys to get your consoles. Just want to say I do give a really, really big appreciation for you guys spending time with me and spending time on my channel. And as well, I hope you guys all will get your consoles super soon. If you guys do, please always send me a picture, send me a tweet. I love seeing that. And as well, as you guys always know, make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on as well for the brand new PlayStation 5 giveaway. We'll be playing that throughout this week, just so you guys all know. We have the Twitter and Twitch room down below. Twitter just for general tweets and sometimes restocks. Twitch just to hang out and chill and play video games. Like I said, I'll be doing a lot of Horizon and also other various things too tied on in. We have the Weeble if you guys want to go and sign up for Weeble. Deposit $1, get a bunch of free stock, free money. Same with that Coinbase too as well. And always keep punching those Amazon links, especially because the drop just happened, so the likelihood for a PS5 digital, as well as also returns, are pretty high. Leave a like if you guys would want to, and I'll see you guys throughout today for a lot more videos, and I appreciate you guys all so much for being a part of my life. I hope you guys will stay safe, have a fantastic week, and hopefully this will be the week you guys go get your consoles. Love you guys.